Hi, it's Senpai Ken here from Kyokushin Karate Torquay. What I'd like to talk to you about today is how to get the most out of your training bag. So many people have a training bag hanging from their garage roof or their carport roof at home, but they don't know how to get the best out of it. They just stand there and they just punch, and the punches go everywhere. And yes, you might get a good sweat, but what have you really achieved other than that? So what I'm going to talk about today is tip number 1. Treat your training bag as a training partner, right? As if it's someone who's you're training with in the dojo, another person. So that's tip number 1. And focus. Tip number 2 is to focus on where you're landing your punches. In this particular case, on my bag I have a cross marked just here, which lines up to where my diaphragm is. So for today's drill, I am going to punch directly at that level every single time, where the punches just land on the same spot each time. Okay? So that's number 2. Tip number 3 is your posture. We need to maintain good posture the whole time. Okay? So we set ourselves in a good fighting stance with our feet shoulder width apart, one foot in front of the other, hands are up. And we keep our head up straight, our body up straight, and keep everything sitting on top of each other. So good posture is most important. What we don't want to do is end up leaning over punching like this, because we can't kick, we can't keep our balance. We start doing this sort of thing, okay? We're also vulnerable to being attacked to the head or anywhere else. So keeping up our posture, very important. Okay? Tip number 4, okay? Use your hips. So when you strike from here off the front hand, it just comes off as a power punch straight off the front. We don't cock it back, just from here. Bang! And notice I step forward, I use my hips. The second punch, bang! I use my hips. Okay? So it's hips, hips, striking through the target rather than just surface punching. Alright, so the next thing to keep in mind is get your hands back up in head cover position. So every time you punch, 1, hand comes up, head cover position. 2, hand comes up, head cover position. Reset, hands come back up, head cover position. So a nice simple drill to practice those very basic things can go like this. Okay? So from a standing position, 1, 2, and back up. 1, 2, and back up. Remember to use your hips. 1, 2, and back up. 1, 2. Okay? And back up, hands up. Okay? Switch. What you do on one side, you need to do on the other side. So like this. 1, 2, and back up. Okay? So you can put that together in a drill that goes something like this. Okay? So, Hajime! Shia! 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 Okay, so that's how you can put the drill together and move around the bag. So remember, notice I started off standing in one place till I got the pattern right. Then I started to move around with the bag. Okay, moving around with the bag. The same as your opponent would in Kumite. Okay, thanks for watching the video. I'll be back next week and show you some more tips on how to kick your training bag. Us.